Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, the hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script. Now, I understand. Everybody's excited. Everybody's excited because WWE announced that Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff would be taking over as executive directors of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. I'm not an idiot. I know that their influence or whatever change they are going to facilitate on Raw and SmackDown is not going to be felt immediately. They're probably going to use these shows to get WWE through the summer, and then after everything is over, I would say after SummerSlam, that's when we'll see Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff and their influence being felt on WWE television. So for the meantime, I would say what they are going to do, or at least the extent of what they can do, being that they're probably operating, I would say, up to a certain ceiling, is they're going to lay groundwork and they're going to roll out little subtle changes here and there for Raw and SmackDown on Monday and Tuesday night. I don't know if Paul Heyman had any say in this show. I don't know if he had any influence on anything on this show. If I was a betting man, I would probably say the opening of this show had Paul Heyman's influence all over it. And then everything else was typical Vince McMahon garbage. This is not Paul Heyman's first effort as executive director of Monday Night Raw. And it goes back to what I stated on Saturday when we covered this on Off the Script. Is Vince McMahon really going to give both Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff full creative control to a point where these guys can take over the shows and do what needs to be done? Or was this move made out of sheer desperation because of failing ratings, attendance dwindling in every city that WWE travels on into, AEW, and was it really made with the goodness and the mindset of what really needs to be done? Are they doing it because they know they need to change? Or are they doing it because they wanted to steal headlines away from everybody else? And did they do it to take the heat off of Vince McMahon so when we get a show like we got tonight, everybody has Paul Heyman on the very top of your head? Paul Heyman's name is fresh on your mind when it now comes to Monday Night Raw. Was it done to take the heat off of Vince McMahon? I would not be surprised if that is the case. Folks, I don't know what you do for a living. If you work in the pro wrestling landscape like I do, if you are a journalist, if you are an analyst, if you're a writer, if you're a podcaster, if you, and I don't mean fucking Simon Miller. Simon Miller's always going to find the positive. That's not me. That's not me. I love me some Simon Miller, man. Simon's a good dude. Simon's a good dude. That's his shtick. But if you work in this industry and do what I do, and you thought that was a good show, I honestly think you all need to take a step back and completely just disengage watching the product. You know, it's funny, people tell me to do that, but I don't understand what you're watching. What are you watching that you thought tonight was a good show? There was no change. After the first, I would say, 20 minutes, WWE had everybody riding high after the first 20 minutes, and this show fell off a fucking cliff faster than you could breathe. Absolutely terrible show. One of the worst Monday Night Raws I have seen in 2019. And I mean that from the very bottom of my fucking core. I really do. I really, really mean that. This show was a complete fucking disaster. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And the funny thing is, everybody on social media, everybody on Twitter tonight was attacking me more so now than I think in the last couple of weeks. You see, the funny thing is, a lot of people stopped bothering me. All these cretins, all these trolls, all these unintelligent fucking people, they all stopped tweeting me. They all stopped bothering me. They all stopped subtweeting me. Nobody mentioned me. Nobody cursed me out. For the majority of my time on Twitter in the last couple of months coming out of WrestleMania, my Twitter has been disease-free. Honestly, I didn't really block a lot of people. I didn't really get into any arguments. Tonight, it was like a fucking switch went off in everybody's head. And I can only attribute that to one thing. It's so funny. Everybody has it in their mind that Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are now the executive directors on Monday and Tuesday night. And these fucking idiots think that because they were named, that they're already in their positions, that change is going to be felt. And people think that now that Raw and SmackDown have their names associated with both shows, that it's supposed to be good. That we can't shit on the shows because Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are now associated with Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. People, don't let WWE sink into your consciousness. Please. All because they're associated with the brands now doesn't mean you have to go on social media and praise everything with this grand hope that WWE is going to change because Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are now associated with the shows. The fuck is wrong with you? I've never seen such fucking blatant, outright stupidity. This is the people's mentality. This is the general public's mentality. I don't expect you to be as smart as I am. Everybody on this fucking platform who does what I do is a fucking idiot. They are an idiot. You are too blind to see that WWE put this out there for you to have hope. And now that their names are attached to the shows, everybody's expecting some grand fucking change. Like Jesus Christ coming down from the heavens, granting you with the pro wrestling show that you want on Monday and Tuesday night. Come on, people. How dumb can you be? I know my audience knows better than that. The majority of you, where it's going to be 98% thumbs up and 2% thumbs down. The 2% thumbs down are the people who know I'm right, who can't stand that I'm right. Or another YouTuber who knows that he sucks at what he does. And can't be me. Don't get me started. You guys need to fucking smarten up, man. If this was Paul Heyman's, and I know it wasn't, how the fuck could it be? I mean, how the fuck could it be? If this was Paul Heyman, and I mean that as a fucking thought bubble in the air, a big one. If this was Paul Heyman's first Raw, I don't know. I expect absolutely nothing as far as change goes if this was Paul Heyman's first Raw. And I don't understand why people don't trust me. Like, why wouldn't anyone trust me? Obviously, you know, when the shows are bad, I am going to let you know why it was bad and list A, B, C, D, and E as to why it was bad. But man, I don't know why people don't trust me. Don't you think with someone like me who wants desperately Just like you listening to me. If you've been listening to me for the better part of 5 years, you know that inside my soul is someone dying to have these shows be good. You think I want to waste 3 hours on Monday night when I could have been playing Destiny, completing my exotic quest for the truth? Come on, man. Don't you think with someone like me, yes, I don't even have the fucking rocket launcher yet for you Destiny guys out there, but don't you think with someone like me that if the show was good, wouldn't I be the first kid in class to raise his fucking hand and tell you what you want to know and what you want to hear? Come on, bro. Seriously. You guys gotta get it through your heads. This is Monday Night Raw. As long as Vincent Kennedy McMahon and his name are associated with every script that is slipped onto his desk, this will be the end result, a show like this. This show was one of the worst shows of 2019. I do not want to hear it from anyone. It's going to go in one ear and out the other, and it's going to splatter on that fucking wall right to my right. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. This show was garbage. I have been watching this product for over 30 years. I know what a good show looks like. My friends know what a good show looks like. Everybody that I speak to are just as big of a wrestling fan as I am. They say the same thing every single week to me. JD, this show is horrendous. Bro, this show is fucking terrible. Tweets from my best friends. Tweets from my brother. Come on. This show was one of the worst in 2019. Bar none. There's absolutely nothing you could tell me to change my mind. This is Monday Night Raw. We're going to go over everything that happened on this horrendous edition of Monday Night Raw. Oh, but JD, it felt different. They used guys that you didn't expect. They brought up the Street Profits, man. The NXT guys, man. What, without any video package? Where's the fucking video package of them partying? I'll tell you why they brought them up. We'll go over it tonight, right here on the podcast. Follow me on social media, man. By the way, if you guys haven't realized, this is going to be an absolute barn burner of a podcast. Me and my fucking strained voice and all. I don't know what the fuck happened to my voice, but I guess you can thank Evolve on Saturday night, where I met Tommaso Ciampa. So, hopefully my voice gets better by the weekend. I hate when I have no voice, man, or a voice that's not full strength, because I can't give you 100% of me. Anyway, we'll try and get through this the best we can. At JD from NY206, that's both on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys also want to join the channel, become a member. You guys get off the script early every single week. That's a new added bonus perk to everybody that signs up to be a member of the YouTube channel. So just hit that join button and you guys will be on your way. If you guys don't want to do the YouTube thing, but you want to do the Patreon thing, patreon.com/JD from NY206. You guys get early access for Off the Script, and you guys on Patreon get Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and any extras, all in audio format. Those are formats that are not available on Spotify or iTunes. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys missed anything that I uploaded this week, we talk about the sellout, Seth Rollins. He blasts Jon Moxley, defends Vince McMahon's creative in a recent interview with Sports Illustrated. Again, I mentioned this in the open of the podcast. Is Vince bringing in Heyman and Bischoff for real change or to take the heat off of himself? I reviewed AEW Fyter Fest from this past Saturday as well. That podcast went up on Sunday night. If you guys missed that, link will be in the annotation that you see in the top right corner. And this is the video that went live when Heyman and Bischoff and the news broke of them being involved with Monday Night Raw. Get my immediate initial reaction to that major news being broken. Everything you need will be linked in the top right corner in that annotation. It's going to be a little eye. Click that, drop it down. Everything you need will be right there. And tonight, as always, just like every Monday night, the podcast tonight on Raw, right here on Off the Script, is brought to you by Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Audible's going to give you guys 30 days free to sign up, and you guys are going to get one free audiobook of your choice. All you have to do is the following. Download the app on your iPhone or Google devices. You're going to use our unique link, audibletrial.com/offthescript, just like you see there at the bottom of your screens. You're going to go through the sign-up process. You're not going to be billed at all. Absolutely free. And you guys are going to get 30 days free of Audible service. And as a thank you for signing up, you guys are going to get one free audiobook of your choice. You have over 200,000 choices to choose from, a lot of which are wrestling related, just like you see there. So if you guys want to sign up, go ahead and do that. It's a great way to support the show. Now, the best part is, if you guys sign up and think and feel, well, you know, JD, Audible's really not for me. I just want to use it to support you on Off the Script. That's great. You guys can cancel at any time in the 30 days and still keep your audiobook for free. So no matter what, on day 1, on day 7, on day 30, you guys can cancel anytime in the 30 days and still get to keep your audiobook for free. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/offthescript. Monday Night Raw tonight opened up for July 1st, 2019 with absolutely no mention of Paul Heyman whatsoever. No mention of Heyman being the executive director of Monday Night Raw, which is kind of odd that WWE announces that Heyman and Bischoff are now executive directors of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. They don't have any problem announcing that on social media or via WWE.com or a breaking news update on YouTube. But then they don't mention it on Monday Night Raw, and probably with Bischoff, they won't mention anything about his involvement as executive director on SmackDown Live. But Paul Heyman is still the advocate for Brock Lesnar, which I guess is okay. So I don't know why they went and did that, and if this was really Heyman's first night on the job, I figured that they would announce that he's the new executive director. So I'm hoping, and by the looks of the show, it certainly cannot be, otherwise he's just as fucked up as Vince McMahon is, that this was not his first night. So I'm hoping that they're saving that for when he really digs his nails into the mess that Vince McMahon created. Now, the only positive you're going to get out of me for this entire show was what happened in the first 20 minutes. And after that, this show absolutely took a nosedive off a fucking mountaintop. I would be a betting man, and I would put some money on Paul Heyman having involvement in this opening segment. Because there's no way you're going to get me invested in Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. Braun Strowman is completely dead. He's dead to me. There's nothing about Braun Strowman that you are going to get me interested in at all. The guy has had so many start and stop pushes. The guy's been treated like an afterthought. The guy is nothing more than a novelty act. Everything you do with him, you hide him and you mask him behind some sort of cheap stipulation. Like tonight, a Falls Count Anywhere match, or he's destroying something, or he's overturning a dumpster or a porta potty, and he's throwing someone into a dumpster. Whatever the case may be, the guy is nothing more than a novelty act that will never be looked upon as being the face of a brand. I could have told you otherwise maybe 2 years ago, but still, compare Strowman then to Strowman now, and nothing has changed except WWE making him into more of a loser. Bobby Lashley, that's self-explanatory. The guy is absolutely boring as fuck. I'd rather watch paint dry than anything to do with Bobby Lashley. So WWE had to go about this creatively to legitimately get me or the viewer, because I know you guys feel the same way, to care about both of these guys. They started the show off without a promo, without 20 minutes of long-winded fucking television. They actually started this show with a match. And they started this show with a sense of urgency. And we got right into the intros of Strowman and Lashley, and we got right into the Falls Count Anywhere match. Basic Falls Count Anywhere match. They did what they did in the ring, outside the ring, and then it slowly bled into the audience. Couple steel chair shots. They made their way to the stage. There was a suplex by Lashley on Strowman, a vertical suplex, or snap suplex of sorts, on the stage, which looked very impressive. And then all of a sudden, we got Braun Strowman getting to his feet and tackling Bobby Lashley, crashing into the LED boards, breaking the LED board on the stage, explosions everywhere, fireworks going off, sparks flying from all the electrical equipment that was behind the LED board. At one point, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then all of a sudden, Corey Graves lets out a holy shit on commentary. No bleep. They didn't cover it up. They allowed him to say it and freely express himself in that moment. And the first 20 minutes of this show were great. They were great. And I'm like, a small part of me wanted to jump out and say, holy shit, there is going to be really change. There really is going to be some sort of fucking change on this show. I expected it to be built from that moment. I expected the show to be a little bit better. We never got it. So with all of that happening, all the chaos, we see Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. They're laying there. There's a big aerial cam zoom of what's going on behind the LED board off the side of the stage. We see a bunch of like officials and like medical crew loading these guys onto gurneys. We get Bobby Lashley carted off, put in an ambulance. Same thing happens with Braun Strowman. The announcers are really being, I guess, genuine in that moment because they didn't know what was going on. They were genuinely concerned for both guys. They were speaking in low monotone voices. They played up to the fact that this was unpredictable. They didn't expect this to happen. It was a shocking moment. Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Renee Young, they all played their part. It felt different. With Corey Graves blurting out, holy shit, it felt different. A part of me wanted to jump out of my skin and say, yes, change. This is new. This is something Raw has needed. And then at the end of this show, I go back and think about it and how genuine was all that. How genuine was that open on Monday Night Raw? Wasn't genuine at all. It wasn't genuine at all. First of all, how many times did WWE replay that over and over and over again in the first hour? And every hour, at the top of the hour, they showed you exactly what happened in the beginning with that. Because they knew they had you in with this show. They hooked you with this show, hook, line, and sinker. They knew with that you were going to watch the rest of the show. Pathetic. I don't give a shit if this is a thing that TV people do or a TV show does. They give you a shocking moment and then they try to hook you for the rest of the show. If I am producing this show, if I'm booking this show, I'm going to build off that momentum now that I got the viewer watching the show due to this great, unpredictable, new, fresh beginning of Monday Night Raw. I'm going to hook the viewer and I'm going to give them something different and new and exciting, and I'm going to top that opening sequence. They never did that. They never even came close. Do you know why they did this? I'll tell you why they did this. Because not only did they grab headlines from every other wrestling promotion with Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff, WWE wanted to capitalize on everyone talking about AEW. No matter what you thought of Fyter Fest, they want to capitalize on everyone talking about AEW. They want you talking about WWE. So they went out there and they did this outlandish fucking storyline with Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman of all fucking people. At the end of the night, Bobby Lashley was in the best part of the show. Let that one fucking sink in. They did this because they wanted to once again steal the thunder from AEW. It was more of WWE sending out smoke signals. Hey, look at us. We're also cool as well, just like those other guys. Look at what we did here tonight, and look at how risque we are. Look at how we're pushing the envelope with what we did, and then Corey Graves blurting out, holy shit. Come on, folks. It was genuine, and then it became the fucking most disingenuous thing I think I seen at the end of the entire night. What was WWE's true intention with that? Are they really going to do something with both of these guys? Do they really want to change? Or do WWE want to say, hey, look at us over here too. You're giving all your attention to those other guys. Look at us. Look at what we're doing. Our announcers can now say curse words on live television, and we're not going to blurt them out. Come on, folks. I appreciate it. I want to see it. The fucking little kid inside of me, knowing the talent that this company has, wants this show to be fucking great as I know it could be. But how can I sit here and praise this knowing the show that we got at the end of the 3 hours? This ultimately proved nothing. This ultimately proved WWE was only out for clicks and fucking clickbait and views and word of mouth. Look at what WWE did on Raw. Did they build upon it with the rest of the show? Did they build upon any other segment and make another segment stand out as much as that after that opening segment? The answer is no. The answer is no. Don't fall for their shit. Was it great? Yes. Was it executed well? Yes. I loved it. At the end of the night, it means nothing. And what was WWE's true intentions behind it? Knowing what we got, I don't think their intentions were really as genuine as you think they were. Moving on. New Day versus the War Raiders. Hanson and Rowe, by the way. Just letting you guys know. I was excited about this match, and I was hoping that WWE wouldn't do anything that they usually do, and they would let these guys go out there and give me 10 to 15 minutes of tag team wrestling. Because that's what we got from AEW. That's what we got at Fyter Fest. Private Party stole the show. The Best Friends, great fucking tag team, SCU, they put on a show on the buy-in pre-show for Fyter Fest. Here we are with WWE. Two great fucking tag teams. What did they do? Match went 3 minutes. They go to commercial. Samoa Joe interferes. And then we get a fucking 6-man tag with Kofi Kingston and Samoa Joe involved. How stupid, how lazy can WWE possibly be? This match went 3 minutes. New Day wins by DQ because Samoa Joe ended up showing up, pulled Xavier Woods off the apron, and gave him the coquina clutch on the outside. That's all they needed to do. That is the only visual I wanted to see. In fact, that was the only visual WWE needed the viewer to see. Samoa Joe attacking Xavier Woods tonight, and then Samoa Joe doing the same thing in some other form or fashion to Big E on Tuesday. Then he has nothing but Kofi Kingston to worry about in this weak, lazy 2-week build in which Samoa Joe is actually going to lose. I don't think anybody really thinks Samoa Joe's going to win the WWE title. That's all they had to do. End it right there with a DQ, get another rematch going, leaves it open-ended for a rematch between the War Raiders and the New Day. But what does WWE do? You wanted change, folks. You wanted the Paul Heyman era of Monday Night Raw. Does the Paul Heyman era include, let's have a 3-minute match with 2 legit fucking badass tag teams, and then have it end in a DQ, and then book the challenger and champion of the WWE title match for Extreme Rules in the same match during the commercial, and we get a 6-man tag, which makes us go to commercial without losing any in-ring action, and we got another match that starts immediately after we come back from commercial break. This is what you think is a good Monday Night Raw. I don't understand you. Why couldn't this all end with Samoa Joe, Coquina Clutch, Xavier Woods, goodbye? Have a good night. And we have a rematch tomorrow. Or a rematch next week between the War Raiders and the New Day. No, but I'm the one who fucking complains. Why are you adding Samoa Joe and Kofi Kingston in this match 2 weeks before their pay-per-view? I don't give a fuck if it's a rumored ladder match or not, says Corey Graves. Why? Why are you giving me the WWE champion and challenger for the championship in the fucking tag team match 2 weeks before the goddamn pay-per-view? Why couldn't you let the War Raiders and New Day go out there and tear the house down as 2 badass tag teams? But WWE wants to focus on tag team wrestling though, right? Can't really focus on tag team wrestling in 3 fucking minutes. So this is made into a 6-man tag. This one went 7 minutes. Joe and the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders, whatever the fuck you want to call them, win here. And how do they win? How do they win? Samoa Joe gets the Coquina Clutch on Kofi Kingston, and Kofi Kingston passes out on television. Let me repeat that if it went in one ear and out the other. Kofi Kingston passed out as WWE champion to Samoa Joe, who has not looked dominant whatsoever, who is nothing more than a glorified loser jobber on WWE television. And it pains me to say that, because WWE has done Joe no favors in making him look strong at all. He hasn't won a TV match since WrestleMania. He won tonight, but what does it fucking mean? We all know he's there as a fill-in just to get Kofi to SummerSlam. And if you don't think that's the case, you're an idiot. So we got the WWE champion passing out on television. Now granted, Kofi Kingston has had, I would say, out of all the champions in the company, the strongest reign. That's not saying much. The strongest reign as champion. But that does not mean you take your champion and have him pass out on television. I don't get it. I don't understand why Joe was involved. I don't know why Joe and his interference didn't stop the match altogether. I don't know why we got a 6-man tag. I don't know why your champion's passing out on live television. Nobody has a problem with this. Champions should not be passing out, tapping out, pinned. How many times do I have to explain this to you? I don't give a fuck how strong or great you think his title reign is. He's a champion. He should not be losing. And your match should not be given a free preview on Monday Night Raw, especially if it's one that's built up in 2 weeks. Was it so difficult to keep these guys away for 2 weeks? And we still haven't had an explanation as to why Joe, a Raw superstar, is challenging Kofi, a SmackDown champion. We didn't even get a reason why Joe was attacking Kofi Kingston just because. No reason. No reason on both points. But I'm the one who complains. Don't take it too seriously. JD's a virgin who complains and lives alone in his basement apartment. Sure. You continue to be blind to the fact that WWE has loophole after loophole after loophole after loophole in one match, and that I'll be here making you look like a fucking fool. Asking why. It's my job to know why, or ask why. It's WWE's job to fill in the why. They clearly don't have enough brain power to do so. And their champions look like shit. Moving on. Backstage, Drake had his wife blindfolded. No, they were not on their honeymoon. They were backstage. Drake revealed that he brought her to Raw. She wasn't happy. I wouldn't be happy either. It's fucking Monday Night Raw. Who the fuck is happy? I don't even think the roster's happy being there. So they bumped into Dana Brooke, who asked how married life was. Drake said it was great, and then assured his wife that this is just a stop along the way to their honeymoon. Yes, because to get to the airport, you got to go into the venue and into Monday Night Raw, into the backstage locker rooms of Monday Night Raw. So she said he's obsessed with the 24/7 title. Maybe it's your job, or it should be your job, to make him obsessed with something else and not the 24/7 title, if you know what I mean. She says it's either her or the 24/7 title. He says he chooses her and won't spoil what they have. They hugged, and then R-Truth is there with the 24/7 title. He told Drake, "Don't mind me at all, dog." And he says he's a sucker for romance. That was pretty much it. So in the first 45 minutes, we got Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, a logic gap-filled 6-man tag that was originally New Day versus the War Raiders, and then the 24/7 title. So where's the change, folks? Where's the change? Where's this Heyman era new Monday Night Raw? Huh? Oh, yeah, we're still waiting for it, right? Yeah, sure. Sure we are. AJ Styles approached Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They were chatting in the locker room and were being filmed. So Styles says they were on fire last week, but still lost to the War Raiders. Gallows said they're legit. Well, if you watch NXT, you already know that. I didn't need Gallows and Anderson to tell me that Hanson and Rowe are legit. So Anderson then said to AJ, it's not like you dominated your match last week either. Styles took it and said, well, it was his first match back and he didn't want to re-injure himself. Anderson said Styles always tries his hardest, but Ricochet almost beat him. Gallows says he won in the end, But Anderson doesn't think he can beat Ricochet for the U.S. title in a rematch. Anderson brought up his hot Asian wife being on the line. Gallows says that he hopes he is serious. So there you go. So after all this, they went to go find, I believe, they insinuated. And then later in the show, it led to another backstage sequence. And then the second backstage sequence led to the match that we've seen in the main event tonight with AJ and Ricochet, which we'll get to in a little bit. Cesaro was in the ring waiting for No Way Jose. Again, I ask, where's the change? No Way Jose, huh? Oh, but JD, they're giving you fresh faces, man. Sure you are. Sure you are, cretin. No Way Jose. So he's there, and they showed Drake and his wife in front row. Conga Line danced around the ring. Among them in the Conga Line was R-Truth. He stopped and taunted Drake. Then he danced with Drake's wife. Truth laid on his back at ringside, and he offered Drake to come over the barricade and pin him. So a parade then starts. All the VIP catering came out, and they were waiting for Titus's bunt cake to come out of the oven. So they figured, let me go out there and make a fucking fool and a clown of myself on live television. They were chasing after Truth. Cedric Alexander, Titus O'Neil, Heath Slater, Robert Roode, EC3, Mojo Rawley, Cesaro went after No Way Jose at ringside, and they all chased R-Truth like a fucking parade of clowns. By the way, did you guys know that on main event, WWE main event, there's a new stable with Cesaro, Robert Roode, and EC3, and they're calling themselves the Main Event Muscle Men. Why isn't this on Monday Night Raw? Why is this on main event and not shown on Monday Night Raw in some serious form or fashion? Yeah, we got Cesaro, we got Robert Roode, and EC3 in a 24/7, 7-Eleven, hold the mustard on that 6-day-old hot dog with a bag of fucking Doritos and a side of Mountain Dew title. This show sucks. This garbage does not belong on television. If you enjoy this, your IQ is that of a fucking pencil. I'm sorry. There are people in this community that enjoy this shit. That speaks volumes. Seriously. Go back to fucking wrestling class and learn what real wrestling is. This is fucking garbage. The shit with AEW on Saturday with the librarian shit and Michael Nakazawa, that was garbage. That shit does not belong on TV. If I'm gonna zing them, I fucking nail them as well. This shit sucks. It's the same shit over and over again. Ha 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 ha. How many times did you laugh at the same fucking joke now? 8 weeks in a row. Get over yourselves. You have the power and voice to change, yet you give up and give in to their fucking bullshit. Complete garbage. Moving on. Hour 2. Show got worse, folks. Show got worse. We had Sarah Schreiber, and she was backstage with The Miz. She asked if he's 100% going into a match with Elias tonight, by the way, which was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Am I having deja vu? Did I sleep through SmackDown Live and then wake up and SmackDown Live was still on? Why are The Miz and Elias in a 2 out of 3 falls match? Do you know that I will never, ever buy into another 2 out of 3 falls match ever again? If I'm playing WWE 2K20, never in my life am I going to be put in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Never. I don't want anything to do with 2 out of 3 falls. If your mother asks me to give her 2 out of 3 falls, the answer is no. The answer is no. This is ridiculous. What is on the line? What is so important between these two guys that you need to do 2 out of 3 falls? And then WWE makes a mockery of the 2 out of 3 falls. What is on the line here? Is there a $25 gift card for Elias on the line if he wins to Guitar Center? He needs some new guitar strings, maybe some new drumsticks, maybe a new bass pedal, maybe a new Gibson guitar. He's playing Fender. Fuck Fender. Go with a Gibson. Fucking idiot. Anyway, Miz is there. She asks if he's 100% going into this worthless match with Elias. He says it's not about being 100%, it's about doing what needs to be done. Miz said Shane McMahon continues to suck the air out of the WWE Universe. Vince McMahon continues to suck the soul from all the fucking people who want to see this show succeed. He wants to kill the very essence that is Monday Night Raw before anybody takes over, to a point where it is completely unsalvageable. Miz said Shane continues to suck the air of the WWE with a group of people protecting him. He says he's heard rumors about The Undertaker as well. Ooh. What is The Undertaker going to do? He's going to come and he's going to dig holes and bury some souls? Give me a fucking break. How many times have we heard that same old song and dance? Give me a break, dude. Shane and Drew made their way to the ring, and I picked up the remote control. Fuck Shane McMahon. Shane insisted on the special ring introduction. Mike Rome should not be doing Shane McMahon's entrance anymore. I legit rolled my eyes in the back of my head, just like The Undertaker, hearing Mike Rome try and hold a fucking note for Shane McMahon's entrance. Save it for Greg Hamilton. Mike Rome embarrassed himself, and he made me feel like a fucking embarrassment myself. That's how bad he was at the intro. Talked about gracing the fans with his presence. Oh my God, bow to the almighty Shane McMahon. And while you're at it, pick up the remote control and hit the fucking channel button and turn on HGTV to watch my dream lottery home with that fucking guy. What's his name? The fucking big tall gay guy. What's his name? I don't know, but he's cool. Cool enough that I'd love to have a fucking drink with him. He seems very entertaining and fucking funny. I wish he'd sell me a fucking $1 million home. Anyway, moving on. He said Roman Reigns must have been scared of them, so he called upon The Undertaker for help. By the way, no Roman Reigns on this show. Imagine that. No Roman on this show, and this show was still this fucking terrible. Imagine if Roman was there. Show would have been even fucking worse. Unbelievable. It's like we dodged a bullet, but not really. Anyway. So, Shane threw up a clip of their attack on Reigns last week. Shane and Reigns begged The Undertaker to help him. Or Shane said Reigns begged The Undertaker to help him. That wasn't the case, says Michael Cole. Shane says he's battled Taker before, and he looks forward to doing it again. He says it's true that Taker surprised them last Monday, but at Extreme Rules, there will be no surprises. He says they'll put Taker and Reigns in the ground. Well, Taker and Reigns could be in the ground just alongside Monday Night Raw. It's like they have two fucking graves buried side by side. Reigns and Undertaker and Raw. Raw's already in the ground. I'm just waiting for Reigns and The Undertaker to join them at Extreme Rules. So, Drew McIntyre said Taker is the biggest legend in WWE history. He has struck fear into the heart of every man he's ever been in the ring with. Says he is no ordinary man, but rather a hybrid of every generation, and he's not afraid of The Undertaker. To be perfectly honest, I don't give a damn about The Undertaker. He says he's heard a rumor, so he came dressed to fight. Fans chanted for The Undertaker. Then the dead man was being called out to the ring by both Shane and Drew McIntyre. He says they aren't afraid and will exterminate him. Who speaks like that? Have you ever told somebody that you don't like, I'm going to exterminate you? What is he, a fucking cockroach? You're going to get the fucking Raid spray and start... What is this? Who talks like that? Why are you scripting these guys to say, I'm going to exterminate you? You know how fucking ridiculous that sounds? If you're in a feud or a fucking battle with somebody, the word exterminate is not going to be one of the words that comes out of your mouth. You fucking, what are you, fucking, a bug zapper? You professional bug zapper? Give me a break, dude. It's like you open the fucking cabinet in the middle of the night and you're fucking going for a plastic cup and a cup of water and you see fucking cockroaches there just standing there. Hey guys, how you doing? Just saying hello. Good night. Fucking show is complete garbage. The lights flickered. We heard some thunder. We seen some fog. We heard the bell sound, the big gong, and then lightning bolts hit the ring posts. Wow, man. Oh my God. We got Chris Angel in the house. We got some fucking spooky magician in the house. Am I supposed to be entertained? Am I supposed to be shocked by what we've seen here? So, Taker made his long ring entrance. I think I fell asleep in the middle of it. You know, if The Undertaker wants to come back, and he wants to do all this spooky, Undertaker-like garbage, which is completely overdone and long overdue for a fucking retirement, can we get this guy to come down to the ring on his motorcycle with the theme music of Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, please? You know, it's not that bad of a song. And I think I could get into that again. I'd much rather see that than this version of The Undertaker. This was terrible. How is anybody excited by this nauseating garbage that we've seen over and over and over again? I don't know if you guys remember, but we've seen this during the Super Showdown build with Bill Goldberg. So what is the difference between that and this? Oh, but it's The Undertaker. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't give a shit if it's Jesus Christ floating himself down to the ring. I'm not going to be amazed. If I've seen it once, twice, 3 times, I've seen it every fucking time. So The Undertaker makes his way down to the ring. I eventually wake up from my fucking nap. He's cutting a promo. Puts me right back to sleep. Taker says, that's not who he is. But if you need answers to the why, let me explain to you who I am. And then he says, I've been the reaper of wayward souls for a long time. I'm here to collect your souls. I've had respect for Shane for quite some time, and he lived to tell about it after WrestleMania and Hell in a Cell. But, like most mortal men, Shane fell victim to his own ego and greed. You may be the best in the world, but where I'm sending you, you'll be nothing more than another lost soul, suffering from the torment and torture of that rancid stench of death. You will be for all eternity the two who will rest in peace. Wow, folks, I am so enthralled. I couldn't wait to tweet about my excitement. They really sold me on Extreme Rules. Wow. Such captivating television. Moving on. Lacey Evans is backstage. She was applying lipstick. And Baron Corbin was sitting there. You know, I don't know if I'm the only one who feels this way, but Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans feel like more of a couple on camera than Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Why is that? Is Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch even a couple? Did WWE just magically pair these two together to force some storyline? That's the way it comes off to me. How is it that Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans come off as more of a couple than a real-life couple, quote-unquote, in Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch? And by the way, I don't know if you know, that's Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch's boyfriend, and Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins' girlfriend. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is a new revelation in WWE, being that it's got to be mentioned about 4 different fucking times on commentary in a single evening. Lacey Evans is applying lipstick, and Baron Corbin is looking into the camera and said Extreme Rules and the format benefits them because they're not afraid to cross lines. He asked Seth if Becky is worth the risk. Well, WWE clearly thinks that you're worth the risk because you're in a major fucking program for 3 months now. How well is that going, Mr. Corbin? You can drive your fucking Porsche and wear your IWC Top Gun chronograph on Twitter. How long is the rental for? On both. Is she worth the risk? Lacey said the man is more than a persona at this point. It's practically become a movement. Bless her heart. Bless my heart for sitting through this fucking garbage for 3 hours. She said she's seen Seth's wandering eyes. And he'll be watching her closely when she beats Natalya tonight. Wow, I can't wait. This was terrible. Lacey Evans sounded like she just finished reading and memorized the script 30 seconds before she was put in front of a camera. It came off so disingenuous and so forced that, again, my eyes were rolling in the back of my head, just like The Undertaker usually does when he looks at Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Terrible. By the way, Lacey Evans and Natalya, this was immediately following this cringe promo, and Lacey wins in 3 minutes because Baron Corbin was on the outside accompanying Lacey Evans. He tripped Natalya on the outside after she bounced off the rope. She was looking for a clothesline. He tripped Natalya. She fell down like an idiot, looking at Baron Corbin, turns around, eats a woman's right, and that was it. Wow. Unbelievable, man. Match of the year for WWE as far as the women go. Yet Ember Moon can't find fucking television time. Go figure. And then you wonder why Sasha Banks is sitting at home, still not back with the WWE. I wonder why. Ricochet, Heath Slater, and Zack Ryder chatting backstage. Caruso comes walking on in, not giving any fucks, interrupting conversations backstage, and asked if she could have a word with Ricochet. She asked him about competing in the main event of Raw for the first time, but losing to AJ Styles. Should have never happened. Should have never even happened. Both the match and the loss. He said facing Styles in the main event of Raw was one of the biggest moments of his career. He said if he has a chance to do it again, he probably could beat him. She asked if he made any mistakes. He was interrupted by Gallows and Anderson. Now, they were backstage talking to AJ before, and now Gallows and Anderson are being instigators here with Ricochet. And they said Styles could have beat him sooner whenever he wanted. Ricochet says he disagrees, but he's confident enough in his abilities that the next time they do meet, he will beat AJ Styles. Gallows says he has to be put in his place. Ricochet says he's not looking for trouble, but he's happy to put his title up on the line against Styles. Or them. Gallows says they don't have trouble with him, but he might with somebody else, and they leave. So they're being instigators, and they have a 2-year-old mentality here with Ricochet. So we get Gallows and Anderson go meeting Ricochet backstage. Or Ricochet and then Styles backstage. Backstage, Anderson and Gallows walk up to AJ Styles and said that Ricochet said the next time he faces him, he will beat him. Gallows then says that he could beat him in his sleep. This is what apparently Ricochet said about AJ Styles. Styles bought into what they said without any skepticism. And he says he will go have a talk with Ricochet. So Gallows made fun of Styles for wanting to talk to Ricochet. Anderson asked for all of his talk about them losing their edge. Where is your edge, AJ? Where is your edge? He says he should walk up to Ricochet, slap him. Where is that AJ Styles? So Styles walked down the hallway. Ricochet was literally about 50 feet from where this conversation was happening. He didn't think anything of it. He was doing push-ups backstage. So AJ walks up to Ricochet and asks if he was running his mouth. You think you could beat me so easily? Is that what you think? Ricochet says, I don't know what you're talking about, homie. Styles says he'll have his chance and he will beat him tonight. Ricochet says he doesn't know why he's so amped up, but I accept, and the title's going to be on the line. Styles then slapped Ricochet, slapped the fucking taste out of his mouth. Ricochet then slapped him back, which was not as manly, I would say, compared to the Styles slap that he gave Ricochet. Styles then wanted to slap him back, didn't, smiled, and walk away. That was it. So, what did we accomplish here? Nothing. And we got another main event match, which I will talk about when we get to that portion of the podcast. Miz versus Elias. 2 out of 3 falls. I don't know what this is for. Apparently, it's for a Guitar Center / Applebee's gift card. $25 to each. The winner and the loser get both consolation prizes at the end of this thing. I don't know what the fuck this is meaning for anybody. I don't know what the fuck is going on with these two. Why they keep pairing these two. But I know one thing at the end of all this. Elias is a loser and The Miz is a schmuck. The Miz looks like a complete fucking jobber. After losing to Shane, This is The Miz. But I guess he's making all that money and is a reality TV superstar, so fuck me, right? The guy is garbage. Babyface Miz is fucking terrible. First fall, folks. Was it a competitive match? Yes. 10 seconds. Skull-crushing finale. That was it. Elias then wins in 2 minutes with the second fall. And then they go to commercial. So he hits the drift away and then pins The Miz. And we get 2 falls in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And then we go to commercial. I am so disgusted that this is WWE's mentality on all of this. I really am. The 2 out of 3 fall stipulation is absolutely worthless. The sake of the match itself is just completely thrown out the window and shit on with this 2 out of 3 rule, 2 out of 3 falls rule. I don't understand why they're so obsessed with booking the way that they are. And they're not worried about the match quality of literally everything. Everything on this show suffers because of this mentality. 3 hours of a wrestling show is suffering because of this stupid mentality. I don't understand why Elias couldn't play. Miz interrupt him. They go to commercial. And if the match was only going to be 6 fucking minutes, why they couldn't do 6 minutes of a 1-fall match. Yet I'm the one who complains. You like to see 2 out of 3 falls every fucking week? Folks, I don't know if you went dumb in the last week, but this match was the same exact thing that we seen on SmackDown Live on Tuesday. The first fall and the second fall were the same exact thing. The only difference is that Elias won there and The Miz won here. So 50-50 booking is now happening in 2 out of 3 falls matches on Raw and SmackDown. You make your own assumptions. I know mine. Caruso interviewed Becky and Seth backstage. Seth sent best wishes to Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. Because now we care about Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley all of a sudden. WWE trying to make some stupid storyline real throughout the whole show. I appreciate the effort, but you kind of ruined that as the show progressed. Caruso asked their decision to put the belts on the line in the tag team match and asked if it was an impulsive decision. Seth denied being impulsive. I guess your comments about Moxley were not impulsive either. Which we kind of buried you on off the script. Yeah, champ. Becky made fun of how Seth said that. I wouldn't advise you to lose my title, she said. Seth said she better not lose her title for his sake. So they went back and forth with this. You can't lose because I'm going to lose mine. You can't lose because I'm going to lose mine. Back and forth we go. As the world turns. Some fucking cheesy soap opera. Becky says she sleeps with her title. Seth said she does. And it's beginning to become a bit of a problem. Why, is she more interested in the title? Poor Seth. Oh, I'm sorry. Seth, maybe this was his plan all along. And if you just listen to me from time to time, maybe things would be, and Becky shot him a look, and Seth said maybe he got lucky, meaning Baron Corbin. Seth laughed and said he did. In walks, not Baron Corbin or Lacey Evans, in walks Maria Kanellis. She says it's kind of desperate hearing them talk about being the first couple of WWE. Becky said they are. And she says it's kind of desperate hearing them talk about being the first couple of WWE. Maria then pushed an 8-pound baby out of her uterus. Because this apparently makes Maria more of a woman than Becky Lynch. So Seth, standing behind Becky, has his eyes rolling in the back of his head. Maria said that deserves a title in itself. So in walks Mike Kanellis. Who? Yeah, I know. Maria said the only reason Seth is Universal Champion is because her husband hasn't had a chance at it yet. Maria suggested tonight they have a mixed tag team match. How about me and my bitch take on you and yours? Becky said, you want to fight? You want a little mixed tag team action? We'll slap the heads off your dogs right now. And then that was it. I just don't understand this at this point. I don't know who is enjoying this. Oh, but JD, it's unpredictable. They're using new people on the show. Mike and Maria Kanellis. Folks, it gets worse. It legitimately gets worse. If that cringe promo from Becky and Seth was not enough for you to change the channel, this match was. And I tweeted out before the match even got started. Folks, do you hear the sound of that? That's the sound of falling ratings plummeting after that segment. The match made everything that much more worse. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Mike and Maria Kanellis. Seth and Becky win in 4 minutes when Mike Kanellis tapped out to a disarmor from Becky Lynch. So Seth was beating up Mike Kanellis and then threw Mike to his corner to tag Maria. Now, Maria didn't tag in. She jumped off the apron and grabbed the microphone. Told Mike that he could, well, actually, she said to Mike that, I thought you said you could mop the floor with Seth Rollins, but I should have known better because you can't even mop the floor at home. She said Mike Kanellis disgusts her. I'm pregnant. Please. So, at this point, Becky was about to attack Maria Kanellis. She blurts out into the microphone, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant. Please, stop. So the fans chanted bullshit. Mike got emotional on the ring apron at the news. You're pregnant? And how could you be pregnant? He says. She then said, how? I don't know, because I don't think you're man enough to even get me pregnant. He looked sad. Becky Lynch took advantage, put Mike in the disarmor, and then Mike tapped out in 4 minutes. Or at the 4-minute mark. He wasn't in the disarmor for 4 minutes. He tapped out at the 4-minute mark. So Maria left the ringside area. Mike Kanellis was standing there in the ring after this was all over. And I don't understand why this was even happening. I don't know who the fuck was booking this show. This had Vince McMahon written all over it. Didn't Mike Kanellis quit 205 Live? So now he's on Monday Night Raw. So he quits one show and jumped to Monday Night Raw. If that's not a bad career move, Mr. Mike Kanellis, I don't know what the fuck is. You got Cedric Alexander on the same show begging to be back on 205 Live. Maybe you should have listened to someone who's in the know. Mike Kanellis taps out to the disarmor. He taps out to Becky Lynch. What a 5-year fucking contract you signed there, Mike. 5 years. 5 more years of you being a fucking loser. What did WWE do here, folks? Mike Kanellis wanted more money? He got it. He wanted job security? He got it. He signed for 5 years to be WWE's bitch. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly the gimmick they gave Mike Kanellis. He is Maria Kanellis' bitch. What type of gimmick is Mike Kanellis? The power of love. Anything but. He is Maria Kanellis' bitch. Happy 5 years, Mike. You're a fucking idiot. There you go. I would have gladly went back to Impact Wrestling as they just signed on to be with Access TV. You done fucked up. And I don't even feel 1 ounce of sorrow for you. But continue making that money and supporting that second child. Go ahead. You fucking clown. Moving on with the rest of this fucking garbage. I didn't even talk about the Street Profits. Heyman walks in. Charlie Caruso's there. Says he's the advocate for Brock Lesnar. He says there's been a weird night for Seth and a bad night for Kofi, which means it might be the perfect night for his client to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. Said Brock is there tonight, but maybe not. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. If it's Brock Lesnar, he isn't, because he knows how terrible Monday Night Raw is. In walked the Street Profits. They surrounded Paul Heyman, rubbed Heyman's head and intimidated him a bit, played with his tie a bit. Montez Ford invaded Heyman's personal space. Heyman says he doesn't have time for this. He left saying he's a busy man. And they yelled for him to come back. They began their rendition of Rockabye Baby. They forgot the rest of the words, said they overstayed their welcome, and left. No storyline. No reason why the Street Profits were on Monday Night Raw. They didn't even wrestle on the show. First of all, I got two things here I want to say about this, and I'm moving on because they did not factor into the show. A, why are your NXT Tag Team Champions again, on the main roster with absolutely no call-up whatsoever, or no plans whatsoever? Two, this is like a 2.0 to that statement. Why was it so difficult for WWE to bring up the War Raiders and have them show off the NXT Tag Team titles, but the Street Profits are on Monday Night Raw wearing the NXT Tag Team titles? I don't understand that. What is the difference between them and the Street Profits? Why not then and why now? And B, why are these guys on the show with no video package, no hype package, no highlight package, no video package telling us who they are and where they came from, what they're about, what their gimmick is? Me seeing Montez Ford fly high off the top rope with a fucking frog splash. Where's all this shit at? Just gonna bring them up from NXT and place them on Monday Night Raw when no one on that show even knows who the Street Profits are. And then I have idiots on social media saying, well, I thought you liked when there was unpredictability. Yeah, I like unpredictability when it makes sense. Not when you take tag team champions in the middle of their fucking reign, which, by the way, just started, put them on Raw with absolutely no direction and tell them to go out there and make a fool of themselves. And where's Bianca? I thought WWE was not about breaking up couples. Montez Ford is married to Bianca Belair. Where's Bianca? Do we get her on SmackDown Live? Is she getting an imminent call-up as well? For what? So she gets ruined just like the rest of them? Ember Moon's not being used. I don't find anything in Bianca Belair on the main roster. And WWE will treat her like a fucking loser, just like everybody else. If you're not Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, or a blonde, you're shit out of luck. Bianca has no hope on Monday Night Raw. Why are they there? Nothing was explained. No reason was given. No plan was given. Why were they there? Oh, it's unpredictable. You don't pull the NXT Tag Team Champions out of NXT to put them on Raw for absolutely no reason. Especially not in the beginning of a fucking title reign that just started. If this is the case with all NXT talent coming up, that's got to change quickly. Moment of bliss. Alexa Bliss was with Nikki Cross, and they talked about and replayed the fucking bullshit with Nikki beating Bayley on SmackDown Live to earn Bliss a title match because that's the way things make sense in WWE. Alexa does nothing and gets a championship match out of it. Nikki was all smiles for having pleased her best friend. Alexa thanked her. What an achievement. And then out comes Carmella. Carmella interrupted. She asks Nikki why Bliss gets the title match. Carmella then says, Bliss is playing you, Nikki, and that's not how friendship is supposed to work. Carmella asks Bliss what she's giving Nikki in response to Nikki earning a title match for her. Bliss said Carmella is nothing but Truth's sidekick, and then Carmella challenged her to a match. Folks, this was the greatest match of Alexa Bliss's career. This was the greatest match that Alexa Bliss has ever been in. Bell rang, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, roll up, 1, 2, 3, literally 5 seconds. Carmella beats Alexa Bliss with a roll up, and that was it. Commercial. What do we see after the commercial? I guessed incorrectly, but I thought it was going to be Bayley coming out after the commercial, teaming with Carmella against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I was wrong. We just got Nikki versus Carmella. Nikki Cross beat Carmella in 3 minutes. So WWE had to give us a 5-second match, only to go to commercial, then come back and give me Nikki and Carmella to end in 3 minutes. Why? Was the moment of piss even necessary? You could have avoided all of that. You could have avoided going to commercial if you didn't give us the moment of piss segment with Nikki and Alexa Bliss. This show, at this point, is reaching all-time lows. This is terrible. So, what did we learn here? Alexa Bliss loses in 5 seconds. Wow, what a challenger for that SmackDown Live Tag Team title. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. Backstage, Drake assured his wife that their honeymoon will go great. We seen the VIP catering. Apparently, Titus's bun cake was not up to their liking, so they ran away from catering. They ran away from catering from the rest of the evening. So, Truth revealed that he was hiding behind Drake in some booth or some storage compartment. Drake told Truth he's done with 24/7 title stuff and he just wants to go on his honeymoon. Truth told him to have a good time. Drake then hit Truth from behind with a suitcase, pinned R-Truth, and became the 24/7 champion. What do you want me to tell you? You're a simpleton. That's all I'm going to tell you. Finally, we got Ricochet versus AJ Styles, main event, U.S. title match. I don't understand why this was happening again. I really don't understand why this was happening again. Back-to-back weeks, WWE figured, well, if people enjoyed it, let's fucking shove it down their throat for a second week in a row. So, we get the match to start, and we get a phenomenal forearm from AJ Styles. He pins Ricochet. He wins the United States Championship. But the thing is, Ricochet, in the pin, while the referee was counting, the referee was out of position. He didn't have a vantage point on what was going on. Ricochet put his foot underneath the bottom rope. He didn't see it. AJ Styles wins the title, according to the first original referee. AJ Styles, the new champ. So, in that moment, we had Ricochet take another pin, and then this time lose the title. I'm not even going to go on yet to explain what happened after that, but to the fucking simpleton out there, I don't know how you find this to be good. Well, I don't know how you don't have a problem with this. The visual of your United States champion, Ricochet, who just won the title, being pinned again for a second week in a row. Even though it was a screwy finish, it looked ridiculous. How are you going to have your champion lose a non-title match last week, which A, he should have never been in, and B, he should have never lost, come out the second week and lose another match with AJ, but this time have a screwy finish? Doesn't look good for Ricochet now, does it, that he's pinned, realistically, twice in just as many weeks? But that's your United States champion. Champions should not be losing like that. And they only did this because they forced themselves into a commercial break. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Every possible ending or scenario, every possible match stipulation is being thrown out the window to a point where if WWE continues down this path, all of these situations are going to be rendered useless because we would have ran through all of them. We would have seen them and gone through all of them so that if it happens again, it's not going to mean jack shit. WWE is using these silly fuck finishes, these interferences, these 2 out of 3 falls matches to force themselves into a commercial so they don't have to show wrestling during the commercial. I don't think I would have ever imagined myself saying, I want wrestling back during the commercial. I don't get it. I don't know how this company, aka Vince McMahon, doesn't understand how this is ruining his show. This is so fucking stupid. It is so damaging, not only to Ricochet and a match like this, but it's felt all throughout the show. So they restart the match. A second referee comes down, tells the original referee what he's seen in the back. They go to commercial, and the match is restarted. So what happened to the referee is final. The referee's decision is final. The original referee's decision is final. Where was this second referee? Where was this second pair of eyes for Samoa Joe when he was pinned by Rey Mysterio a couple of pay-per-views ago? Where was he then? Joe's shoulder was clearly up. Where was the second referee then? But he wants to show up now. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Do you know how ridiculous that looks? Folks, you have to be out of your mind to think that any part of this show was fucking good. This is an embarrassment of a wrestling show. So we get Ricochet winning in about 6 minutes. So we get the fuck finish, which went about 2 minutes. We get a full 6-minute match after the commercial, and Ricochet gets his win back over AJ Styles clean. After the match, Styles congratulated Ricochet. Anderson and Gallows were at ringside, and they said something about wanting to see the real AJ Styles. Styles yelled at them to stay out of it. He turned and punched Ricochet right in the face, stomped away at Ricochet. Fans were booing. Anderson and Gallows then gave Ricochet their magic killer. Styles took another shot at Ricochet, stood in the middle of the ring. He sat on the corner and asked Gallows and Anderson to lift Ricochet, and then delivered a Styles Clash off the second turnbuckle on Ricochet. Show closed with them two sweeting each other, and that's the way Monday Night Raw went off the air. Two things here, folks, and I think you know what I'm about to say to end this miserable fucking show. This was foreshadowed for weeks. If you didn't see this coming, you're blind. I seen it coming, I seen it executed, and my reaction to AJ turning heel, oh well, generated no excitement. Generated absolutely no excitement. I said it in his feud with Seth Rollins. I said it then. Styles could be a very good heel if WWE wanted to venture on down that road and give me AJ pairing him with the club and him being a top heel on Monday Night Raw, something that they do not have at the moment. So there you go. What I said then, happening now. But I will say this, even though it was uninteresting, I enjoyed the beatdown. I think Ricochet is a great babyface, and I think he's the proper guy to generate heat off of for AJ in this heel run. And I don't see how this is going to be big or massive or do anything. It's 3 years too late, guys. It's 3 years too late. You're doing this at the tail end of Gallows and Anderson's contract for WWE, knowing that their contracts are up come September. I don't know what is in their future. All I know is they're unhappy. I know that WWE has misused them for 3 years. I know that deep down they probably want out and they want to go and join their friends over in AEW. If I was a betting man, I would say that is the case. This is 3 years too late. Why are you doing this now? Why are you doing this 3 years too late? You know what I got as an argument on Twitter? Oh, well, they did this, and AJ did this with Gallows and Anderson 3 years ago. What are you talking about? Folks, I don't know if you developed a fucking aneurysm over the last 3 years. How long did it last? What did they do with AJ and Gallows and Anderson? Oh, that's right, come the brand split, they split them up come August. They were on separate brands. What happened? AJ became a WWE champion and a face of SmackDown Live. Gallows and Anderson were stuck eating fucking cheesecake and catering for 3 years. So tell me again that they did it 3 years ago. They didn't. This is 3 years too late. Do you know when this should have happened? Do you know when this should have fucking happened? When I gave you gold when AJ made his debut in the WWE. He should have not debuted in the Royal Rumble. He should have not had anything to do with the Royal Rumble. His debut should have been on Monday Night Raw after that WrestleMania in his first couple of months debuting in the WWE. Roman beat Triple H for the WWE title at WrestleMania 32. AJ should have debuted on that show in the main event in the last segment, attacking Roman, introducing an invasion angle of AJ, Gallows, and Anderson to the WWE as the club. And they should have went 3-on-3 for the entire year with Reigns, Rollins, and Ambrose. Did WWE do that? No. Now they get them back together. For what reason? To make AJ a heel? Yeah, AJ needs to be a heel. Yeah, it's great, and it makes sense to pair him with his best friends. But why are you really doing it? Are you giving Gallows and Anderson some hope in hopes that they sign 5 years and they don't go to AEW? Or are you doing it because you genuinely have plans for all three men. I think I take option A. 3 years too late, folks. There's nothing to be excited about here. There's nothing happening here. There's no plans here. It should have happened 3 years ago in the manner in which I just described it. It happened 3 years ago. The idea was there, and then they broke them up. Brand split came in, swallowed them both whole. There you go. Splitsville. Does this mean Finn Balor turns heel? Does Finn Balor join them? Being that we don't have a fucking brand split anymore, might as well get Prince Devitt back in there, Gallows Anderson, and AJ Styles. Then you got a real reunion of the club. I don't think WWE's that bright to go that far. 3 years too late, folks. 3 years too late for an AJ Styles heel turn that is nothing but forced, desperate, and reeks of lazy creative writing. Simple. You don't enjoy my take? Suck my balls. That's the way it is. I'm getting out of here. This show was a fucking nightmare. Horrendous. I don't know how anybody thought this was a good show. See you guys for SmackDown Live. Follow me on social media. Twitter, at JD from NY206. Instagram, same thing. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And if you guys missed anything else that I uploaded on the channel, everything you need is in the top right corner of the screen. Drop it down, that little I, everything you need is right there. I'll see you guys for SmackDown Live, man. Don't listen to the cretins on social media. This show, as I perfectly described to you in every sequence, in every segment, made no sense whatsoever and will go down as one of the worst Monday Night Raws of 2019. Started off great for 20 minutes. They gave us glimpses of fucking hope. And then for the next 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes, this show was a complete Vince McMahon dumpster fire. See you guys for SmackDown Live. I expect it to be even worse. More Shane McMahon. How could it be any worse than what we've seen tonight? WWE will do it. Don't worry. See you guys later.